What is up, guys? We're back with another review. We're here with Daryl Dixon, season three, and man, oh man, I think we're off to a good start. I think we're off to a good start. They are constantly trying to hurt us, and they do a good job with it. Got to stop introducing new characters if you're just gonna, it's just not, it's not gonna keep me emotionally stable. It's kind of a mess, but I was happy with the fact that we got to at least start off the episode with both Carol and Daryl. Although I loved season two, one of the things I was looking forward to the most was to see the dynamic duo, to see Carol and Daryl working together again and to be, to just entertain us, for as much as they can. But we literally start off the of course, the season with her getting hurt at the end. So it's like I'm all over the place. But although season two was cool, to have to wait like 4 episodes or however long we waited for the reunion, I totally get it. I understood it, but then now it feels like they're kind of doing the same thing, and I'm a little nervous because my whole thing going into this was like we're finally getting them. We're finally gonna have them carrying the entire season. It's gonna be great to see them interacting a full 6 episodes, whatever. And then they, of course, hit us with her kind of being kidnapped on top of her being super hurt. So don't know when we're gonna get a little reunion. Hopefully we can dive into it in episode two. But that's literally my only complaint. One of my only complaints, other than them killing off the last Englishman, which of course is what Philip I believe his name was. But I want to dive into that because that whole entire situation with I want to say his name was Philip. I keep saying Philip, and now it seems wrong. But we dive into us being in England, and we see Big Ben. We were on this bridge. It's really it gives that apocalypse vibe, which of course it's supposed to. But the one thing I admire about this show so much is the fact that we'll get like literally some beautiful shots of the apocalypse, whether it's just beautiful landscapes or in this situation when we were kind of like going under the bridge in the sailboat, we see like just the underview of the bridge, and it's just even that alone looked insane. Like it was gorgeous to look at. So that's just what this show kind of delivers, and so I was expecting to get some really cool shots, especially when we landed here. I was like, okay, hopefully we're in London for longer, or we're in England longer than just this episode. We're in there next episode, whatever. But obviously, in this episode alone, we were there, but then we ended up transferring to. I don't know if they've revealed it yet, but I'm pretty sure. No, they did. It's Spain, because she I think looked at the map and said that's not how you spell Mexico, which for some reason I thought was absolutely hilarious. But there was a lot of just cool moments, and I think that's the one thing. Like the humor is just best when you have characters that are comfortable with each other, because you see them kind of break out of that shell that we're so used to. One thing about Daryl is he's just trying his best to kind of be shielded off. So when we saw him without Carol in like season one specifically, it was just hard for him to even find somebody that he could kind of be himself with. And it's part of the reason why I love the dynamic, because we see both of them kind of being themselves, just so it's just so real, and it's just always fun to watch. And that's why I'm kind of dreading if they're apart again for the next few episodes. But it ended up leading us to us finding this building. There were so many walkers, so many what squid I think is what they were calling them, but so many. And then on top of that, we ended up meeting a new guy, which I've seen this guy in so many different things, and it's killing me that I can't like put in my head like where I've seen him from. But to see this guy kind of just introduce himself to us, and it's like you've lasted so long in an apocalypse, and it's like I know you weren't introducing yourself to people, like you don't just act this way, um because like obviously you don't know who you're gonna run into, could be terrible. But in this situation, you just super excited to be there, just hey, hey, I'm not an enemy, yada yada yada. And luckily Daryl and Carol are cool people, because it could have ended up poorly for the guy. Ultimately it did end up poorly for the guy, but that's not the point. um Leading into, of course, them hanging out, and then Carol talking to him, like, and I think not only was she talking to him about the family that they have here, I feel like it was also like good for Daryl to hear that as well. But she's like, the way she was like talking to him, she's like, oh yeah, well, at the end of the day, like, don't you want someone to love you? Like, don't you want someone to miss you? Like, you can have that if you come with us. And some of the pieces of dialogue we got in this show were, I mean, in this episode, just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I think it was I think it was Daryl. No, it was Philip. I think that said it. he was like, "Oh, it's better to love and then lose that love, or to never love and never lose that love." Or so he said something on the lines of that. I don't even know, man. But it was a whole bar. I loved it. I remembered as being caught off guard by it. But a lot of moments between Daryl, Carol, and Philip where I was just like, oh, I really love what they're doing here. Like he could be a cool character. It's gonna be really interesting to learn about him, learn about the trauma, just to be excited to see what they're gonna do with him. And then yeah, they did not have this guy stick around for a long period of time, which at this point, like you got to be used to it. But like since they introduced him so early in the episode, I'm thinking that he's gonna be like a regular or something like that. But what do I know? So I'm sure that they'll introduce a little more in the next episode, especially if Carol did end up getting kidnapped, if she wakes up in some area that she's not familiar with. Sure, we're gonna end up meeting a whole new cast of people, which is gonna be great. But realistically, you gotta just get to a point where you're not like no one's safe. You're not gonna be comfortable. I mean, the fact that they did that in the last season. I mean, of course, Laurent is probably the only one that's still alive, but we saw him get sent away. But on top of that, Isabella, and then I forgot the woman she was with too. I mean, they're just seeing all these people that I'm thinking are going to be around for a while just kind of die. It's brutal. It's brutal, you know. So I am really really curious to see what they're going to do in the next few episodes. But I'm really really excited with what they did in the first episode. Again, to see all these different areas. I mean, it was one thing to see, of course, the U.S. We're familiar with that, but to see France, and then we knew we were going to Spain. But on top of that, we're here and we're in England for a little bit. It was just really cool that they kind of added another thing to the mix. But I mean, I'm fascinated by some of the choices that they made. The designs, like costumes, for an example. When we landed, I believe it's in Spain, we end up having these. Like we saw two different groups of people. I'm pretty sure entirely different groups. Of course, one of them wearing modern clothes in the van or whatever they were in, and then compared to these beast tribal looking dudes. I don't even know like they had horns and it was a whole thing. I had no idea what we were going into, but it was a really interesting take on it, and I was like, okay, I'm actually excited to see more of these characters. But just from the way they were dressed, I was not confident in Daryl taking them all out on his own. So I was like, okay, like this is gonna be interesting to see how they handle it. And of course, they didn't find Daryl or Carol right away, which I thought was great. Like, I mean, honestly, I thought I mean, obviously, it seemed like that's where they were gonna get in trouble. Um, but no, we got a little lucky there. To see Daryl kind of helping Carol kind of with her injury and taking the piece of like shrapnel, the metal out of her back, that made me cringe so hard, bro. That was just it was a lot. It was a lot, but it was really cool to see how like they handled that because not only was she in pain, but we saw like the fever effects kind of kick in with her, like not like kind of like hallucinating in a sense. I don't know if she was technically hallucinating, but still we saw her struggling, and it affected her, almost telling the bad guys where we were, But later on, of course, we ended up getting her out of that situation, and we found that little shack. And although it seemed safe, part of me, like right when we started, I'm like, okay, this is like a little too convenient to find. It has to end in some type of like disaster, if you will. And of course, it ended up leading to the end of the episode where we see that Carol's no longer there. So clearly, something terrible happened, as we saw. I can't imagine that they. I don't know. It didn't look like there was much of a kind of like a mess. Maybe I gotta go back and look. I mean, I think it could go either way. I mean, they introduced two different groups of people, so it could go simply to the Beast or those people finding her and then doing something terrible to her, or it could lead to the other group finding her, which maybe they're a little more, civilized, and they end up helping her and end up trying to see what her issue is because she's clearly not well. So I mean, I feel like hopefully it's the one where they're being caring, but it's The Walking Dead, and I wouldn't hold my breath. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something terrible. But for now, I'm really excited to just hear what you guys have to say, talk to you guys. Hoping to drop a little review every week over here on TeamJVS, so make sure you guys are coming over here and talking with me. But for now, just big thank you. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you guys taking the time to check out not only our reviews that we drop for Daryl Dixon, but we drop reviews for Dead City, and we've done stuff for like The Ones Who Live and a whole bunch of stuff over here. You guys can show support to me, of course, if you guys want to go check out my channel. I should be dropping reactions over there, so if you're into that, go check out my channel. Um, And I'm hoping to go live talking about this, and you guys can talk to me directly on my channel. I'm hoping to do 8 o'clock on Mondays if I'm around. I'm hoping that I can make it work, but make sure you guys are paying attention and checking out both of our channels, and I would appreciate it. But for now, thank you. You guys are awesome. I love all of you. You guys are great. And I appreciate you guys checking out TeamJVS. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're turning on that bell, doing all that stuff, Support us, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.